Howdy lovelies, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our crafting, where we learn, grow and craft together. In today's session we're going to play with water colors. So this is really an impromptu session, wasn't planned at all. I sat down to start and I'm like, let me record this. So without further ado, let's get started. I've wet my water paint already. I just use my spray bottle for that, and I'm just using normal copy paper, which is really not watercolor paper, but I'm not going to try and use that big book that I have with great big watercolor sheets, so just using this. I want to make some collage fodder, so I'm going to start with some yellow, just getting my paintbrush a bit wet and in there. Might have to spray it a little bit more, as I haven't used this in the longest while, so it's really dry. And we're just going to make circles, and as I predicted, it needs a bit more water, so let's spray it. Because it's water paint and I'm only using copy paper, I'm not going to use water on the paper, and I'm not going to try and be perfect to make circles. I'm just going to first play with yellow, and then we're going to add some other colors, and you will see that you actually see when it's a bit wetter, it's a more translucent color. And those watercolor artists are probably cringing right now. You do you. No judgment here. You can make circles of any size. I'm just using a paintbrush that I am comfortable using, and I'm doing what I want to do. There's no prescriptions here. It's not you have to only do yellow. We're going to make a few bigger ones, maybe a few smaller ones. Do they have to be perfect circles? No, but it helps. So you can see that the paper is really already curling. It's fine, it's just collage fodder. Now I'm going to go into a bit of orange. Not much. This orange is really not very bright. I do have a darker one there, though that might be red, I suppose. I haven't used this in quite some time. Some of it I will use as is. We will of course still scribble or doodle on these. Let's leave one yellow like that. So a little bit more water, and yes, I see some brush hair lying on top. No rhyme, no reason. Just wanting to play. It's a bit of impurity coming off. I guess that's from my brush. Maybe did not wash it properly the previous time. I'll just move my watercolors a little bit out of the way. You can see I messed a bit there, but I just want you to see I sprayed these ones, just move that out of the way, and I'm just dabbing my paintbrush in the middle, and it runs where it wants to with the water. Let me do it with this one still, so that you can see what I'm doing there. And we're going to leave that as it is. This can now dry, and I'll go to the next color. We'll come back to this with some paint pens a bit later to scribble on those. Now, so that is sort of cleaned. Let's see. What color is this truly? Just going to run the paintbrush in there, mix a bit with the water, Let's see if it really truly is a red, or maybe a rather a red orange. Not really a red, so I guess it's a red orange. You know how long I've had this set already? Well, these sets, and I don't think I ever realized I don't have a red in there. Red is not a color I use often, to be quite honest with you. I just want to sort of get a circle there. You can see it's really truly just a red orange. These circles obviously are bigger than the previous one. And yes, I am contaminating my watercolor there, but you can easily clean that just wiping it off afterwards. It will be a very faint change, not too clear. If you don't mind where it's running, you can spray your water. The paper, I mean to say, if you want to control it more, then you just wet your watercolors. I know, I'm definitely not a watercolor artist. I only play. There's no theory behind anything that I do with watercolors, other than me wanting to have some fun. And like I said, this was a last minute decision to record what I'm doing. This is not planned at all. So I will be airing this as one of my random sessions. I just want a bit more water there, and a little bit more paint, or rather pigment, on my brush. Sometimes the mere act of mark making can be very relaxing, as it's not causing any stress, and it most certainly is a mindful activity where you are busy in the here and now, and you can easily go on autopilot, let the mind go where it needs to go, and in that process of letting go, you can be healing those things that might be bothering you. And while you do so, you can just breathe in deeply. And no, I'm not saying I'm an art therapist. I just know what works for me. We are all sometimes going through times where it's really tough, and it's testing us, making us anxious, depressed sometimes. And these, I want to refer to it as mindless activities, where you don't have to think what you're doing, decide on a shape and stick with that. And let it go. Just let it go. That truly helps for you to think through other things and work through it, get it out of the system, so that they can then breathe easily. I like this color that came out there. Almost like a peach, a very light terracotta color. Don't think I'll ever get that again, even if I try. A little bit of this yellow ochre, and then that orangey color, which is not a very dark orange. See, the two colors are not even the same, and it's fine. And then this one. I will go on off camera for a little bit. So I went ahead and I painted some more yellow dots like you can see here. When I clean colors with just paper towel, I dab that paper towel on paper. That really makes for some beautiful backgrounds as well. So I don't throw those ever away, and I use that as well. Like I said before, I do forget to mostly record what I am playing with. Now this is also a very light yellow, so I'm going to just add a little bit more first layer is dry, so I'm going to just add a bit more, and hopefully that will then give a more intense color. I know the circles don't have to be perfect. You do you. If you want to, you can trace it and then fill in the circles. I don't feel it's necessary to do that. So just so that you know what I mean, when I now, say for instance, want to clean the yellow tray, I will simply take a piece of paper towel and just clean that, especially if I've got a color on there that I don't want. For instance, I had done black on my yellow or so forth. Then I just dab it like this, so there's no more paint coming off this. And there you can now see that there's a bit of yellow added to that brown dabbing already. I'm now going to move on to a bit of lime green. So I'm not cleaning my brush first because lime green has got a bit of yellow in it anyway. Though this is a very light color, it's not very, very dark. Now this is dry, and I'm just going to touch that, so it's going to run wherever it wants to. But if I spray some water, in other words, I wet the painted surface and I dab it, this runs. It just, I don't know, it's got a different feel. The water obviously makes it more fluid, and it runs where it wants to. You can just dab it on. You don't have to worry too much, which is what I kind of like to do. And when that dries, we will carry on with that. And we will add some dark green as well, which in my case is more of a jade green. I hope with this you can see that you can literally do anything that pleases you. If you go over the lines, it doesn't really matter. You can either punch it out or just cut it out in any which way you want. Now going to go into some blue. Blue, yellow, and green is always a nice combination. I don't know why, but I like using those three colors together, especially since they are contrasting colors. I kind of love all of them. They're cute. I don't know what you say about them. You're probably thinking, what the heck? But remember, this is collage fodder. Doesn't have to be perfect. Now I'm going to go with that teal color or aqua. And for some of us, it's called jade. Yes, not the stone. Truly, if it's difficult for you to get some sort of a circle shape, you can trace a few circles. Simply use a bottle cap and put it in ink, or archival, that should be, and just stamp it on here. That will give you a perfect circle. I don't want to think too much. I don't want the added stress to go exactly within the lines. I just want to put color on paper. It's easy to mix two colors together, especially when it's still wet. I love these colors. This is truly magnificent, even if I have to say so myself. And then something almost like a cobalt blue. But because my paintbrush has some green blue on it, you did tone it down a bit. Now, I want to do the same thing like I did with the yellow and the green. Just dab a bit of blue on here. Not all of them, but I want the exact same thing on all of them. And I just bumped the camera. I am so sorry. I kind of like this flower. Wait, that was not the wrong direction. But I don't want to bump the camera again. That can work. Let's just fix this one. Sort of. That looks a bit better. The harder you dab on it, the more paint there is coming off onto the dot. The lighter you do it, the less paint. So have a play, see what you like, and then you can make your marks with that. And I bumped the thing again, I'm sorry. So sorry. Kind of like the flower effect. It almost wants to resemble planet Earth. Alright, I'm going to move this to one side so that can dry. And then we're going to start making marks on here with the ones that are already dry. So, or rather so. These ones are dry, and we can now start making some marks on here. You might not see all of them because I chose orange. I'll bring it closer so that you can see that it was still dry. Not something to write home about, but once it's dry, you will see the effect of that. Let's do the orange on one of these lighter. I don't know what color this could be. It's not completely yellow ochre, but it's not a terracotta either. That's more like a terracotta there. But this very peculiar color. You can do anything in the middle, and you can simply draw lines, just almost doing the same as that I've done with that first one. No rhyme or reason, just some patterns. You can really truly use different colors. I am using the orange right now. Before you use your pens, just make sure they are saturated, not too much, just wet enough to make your marks. Going to go for a little bit of gold now, just repeating that line in between. I love these gold Posca pens. They are truly magnificent. And just to bring the gold in, I'm going to make a few dots along the line there, just following that curve of the spiral. And there we have that one. Nothing too difficult, but I kind of like that a lot. You see that shimmer of the gold? Just love it. Now, here I'm going to just draw. See, the paint is not dry there. Just a few circles. Doesn't have to be perfect. None of this have to be perfect. If it's going to bother you, then I suggest you use a stencil. But this is supposed to be a mindless activity where you do not have to think too much about anything. That's the whole idea. I know the circles does not have to be perfect. You literally can do any type of pattern, whatever type of marks you want to do. You can use our previous method of dipping things in paint and pressing it on here. You can use stencils. Any of that can work perfectly fine to make marks. Remember, you're the artist. And yes, I am going to use the gold extensively, even on the bluish tones. If you want a perfect circle, I'm going to grab my glue, just the cap, and I'm going to trace that, trying to hold it still, and trace around it. There's a bit missing, so I'll just fill that in. See, it's easy if you want to go that route. And maybe some, if you find that there's a bit of wetness on it, just press on it on some scrap paper so that you can just get the paint flow again. I'll turn this so that I can start on the others. For now, I would like to use the silver one, just to get a bit of a variety in here. I would love to just use the gold the whole time. The gold is truly one of my favorites to use. You can see why I prefer the gold over the silver. The silver turns like a grey color to me when I use it. But once it dries, you will see pretty much a repeat of the same type of pattern. And you can turn your paper as you want. And now I want a totally different color. Let's see, maybe some black. Oh, you know what? I did use the grey one and not the silver one. No wonder it's grey. Would you now believe that? Let's try the silver one. I'm just making sure that it is saturated. There we go. I was wondering why it's not turning silver. There we go. That's a whole lot better. I was missing that glitter. And there we have it. It's silver, but I can assure you, on this orange, it looks almost bronze. Let's put a bit of this color in that one, just to get a little bit more of a luxurious feel. Sometimes that's all you need. Alright, so this orange one is done. I would not be able to do all of them on camera. These ones are still a bit damp, so let's see how this one is doing. Almost there, almost there. So, hopefully, after I bumped the camera earlier with the back of the paintbrush, I am unsure whether I'm still recording or not. So maybe this is in reverse, I would not know. So this is now, there's still a bit of dampness. Now, with these ones, let's see, the white is not too clear. I'm going to just add a few dots on this one. And then I'm going to call it quits on there. This I want to leave like that. Some of them I want to leave as is. Maybe just put a line around these. Not much going to go on with these ones. Maybe I can use a blue or a green, maybe a dark green, yellow. Let's see, let's see. So again, just making sure that my ink pen is saturated and ready to make marks. Maybe we can put a line around these ones and making sure when we cut them out that we cut on the other side of that green line. I hope you can see what I was doing there, merely just scribbling. Same with this one, just going to put a line around it, or maybe there, a little bit closer to that. I'll see where I cut that one. The same with this. I know these circles are not perfect circles. They were never intended to be perfect circles. I like this green, it actually rounds it off just perfectly well, as it's almost like the greens that I have used in the making of them. So I think it rounds it off quite well. And then I want to use a yellow one just to see the effect of that. Again, just shaking the pen and making sure that it is actually ready to make marks. Let's see what it will look like on this yellow one. Maybe a little bit too bright for that, but it might just liven it up a tiny little bit. And to ensure that, I'm just going to make a few dots here and there on that, just to make sure that yellow is actually visible. There we have it. I think that will be fine. Just a tiny little bit. So those ones are ready. Let's do this one too. Just on the edge. Like I said previously, it doesn't have to be perfect circles. So we've got 7 done now. I kind of like this brighter yellow to round off some of these circular shapes. But I also want to try and get... Whee, the darker green is running. That's way too saturated. I just want to shake it quickly. And there we have that one. Turning the page, so I can get to this one. Maybe too wide there. Let's come in so that when I cut it, it will still be visible. Yes, might be some oval-like shapes rather than circles, but so be it. Embrace the imperfections. And then with this one, I want to just scribble a bit of gold around that center piece. And maybe a dot in the middle. I think that wraps it off. Let's do a dot there as well, and a little bit of gold around there. You can't really see that white, so I'm going to just trace around there. Put gold over that, make it a bigger dot. There we have that one. So this sheet is also done. Now let's see if that other blue sheet is done. Drying. Yeah, it looks okay. Might still be a bit damp. Not using yellow there. Right. Seeing that we've got teals and blues, we will see. With this one here, a lighter blue. And then we will come back to that one and just put a bit of gold in there. I will put that blue away. It's really very truly lightly too light for this. This green works perfect to round these ones off with. I'm going to make a few dots in between with this paint pen as well. Not too much, just a little bit. And then also encircle this shape. This one I would love to punch out as it is. Now here, I want to just go around this flower as if it's petals. Will we completely see it? No, I doubt it. I would want to try with the yellow though. See if I can put a bit of yellow in the middle. And I can. Now a bit of gold. Just some gold flicks on the petals. A bit of gold around there. kind of like that. Now for this one, let's do this in green. And we will circle it as well in green. And I would love to use some yellow, but I don't want to do the same thing. So here I'm just going to make a little dot in the middle. There we go. Maybe lines there. And this one I will then do in silver. I use the lighter green there. And here I just want to put some dots. You can tell I love polka dots. I think it reminds me of the stars in the sky. And then for this one, I truly want to use some gold and just do that shape with gold. Remember, this is a play. Nothing is supposed to be perfect, but we can incorporate this in some of our artwork. Maybe the gold again. For this one too. And then for this one, I just want to make some gold. There's a bit of fluff on there. Don't ask me where that came from. Just here and there, some gold dots. Well, not just here and there, everywhere on this circular shape. And then I'm going to just round it off with the gold as well. And I'll make sure when I cut it out to do it on the outside of that golden ring. More gold dots. I kind of like that. I truly love the gold. Who said gold doesn't go with teal and blue? And, well, maybe I want bigger gold dots in between here. Just so that they're in contrast with the smaller green dots I made earlier. Again, just framing that in gold. And then, lastly, this one here. I really, really like this gold pen. I think you can tell with me using it for almost each one of these circles. And there we have that one. Now, I know you can all cut out. I surely do not have to show you how to cut out, but I'll just cut out one or two, just so that you have the feel for it, and you will then know what I mean when I say I cut it out. Just grabbing my pair of scissors